So, in most of the Eastern philosophies, there are two entities, either the soul and the God, or Purusha and Prakriti, the nature and the God, basically. So, and the definition of God starts with it being omnipresent or the infinite being. So, God cannot be infinite if there is something other than Him or other than that existence, because that the other existence would limit the existence of the absolute or of God. It can't be infinite. So that's how an Advaitist argues. So the Advaitist says that the infinite is indivisible. There cannot be parts of the infinite. The absolute cannot be divided. So what is meant therefore by saying all these things? I mean, like the souls are a part of God. The Advaitist, the non-dualist Vedantist solves the problem by maintaining that there is really no part, that each soul is really not a part of the infinite, but actually is the infinite Brahma or the Brahman. Then how can there be so many? So the example would be like the sun reflected from millions of globules of water appears to be millions of suns, right? And in each globule is a miniature picture of the sun form. So all these souls that exist are but the reflections and they are not real. So they are not the real I, which is the God of this universe, the one undivided being of the universe. And all these little different beings, men, animals, etc., are but reflections and not real. They are simply illusory reflections upon nature. There is but one infinite being in the universe, because I told you earlier, right? Infinite cannot be broken. And that being appears as you and I. But this appearance of divisions is rather all a delusion. He has not been divided, but only appears to be divided. That's the core of Advaita Vedanta. This apparent division is caused by looking at him through the network of time, space, and causation. So, when I look at God through the network of time, space, and causation, I see him as the material world. When I look at him from a little higher plane, yet through the same network, I see him as an animal, a little higher as a man, a little higher as a God, but yet he is the one infinite being of the universe, and that being we are. I am that, and you are that, not parts of it, but the whole of it. It is the eternal knower standing behind the whole phenomena of perception. Basically, whatever we perceive, the eternal knower stands behind it. He himself is the phenomena. He is both the subject and the object. He is the I and the you. How is this, you might ask? How to know the knower? The knower cannot be known himself. I see everything but cannot see myself. The self, the knower, the lord of all, the real being, is the cause of all the vision that is in the universe. But it is impossible for him to see himself or know himself, excepting through reflection. You cannot see your own face, right? You can never do it in your lifetime, except in a mirror. And so the self cannot see its own nature until it is reflected. And this whole existence, this whole universe, therefore, is the self trying to realize itself. This reflection is thrown back first from the protoplasm, then from plants and animals, and so on, from better and better reflectors, until the best reflector, the perfect man, is reached. Just as a man who, wanting to see his face, looks first in a little pool of muddy water and sees just an outline, then he comes to clear water and sees a better image, then to a piece of shining metal and still sees a better image, and at last to a looking glass and sees himself reflected as he is. So, therefore, the perfect man is the highest reflection of that being who is both subject and object. You know why man instinctively worships everything, and how perfect men are instinctively worshipped as God in every country? You might talk as you like, but it is they who are bound to be worshipped. That is why men worship incarnations such as Christ or Buddha. They are the most perfect manifestations of the eternal self. They have realized what they are. So the manifestation can see itself in their reflection. They are much higher than all the conceptions of God that you or I can make. A perfect man is much higher than such conceptions. In him the circle becomes complete. The subject and the object becomes one. In him all delusions go away, and in their place comes the realization that he has always been that perfect being. How came this bondage then, you might ask? How was it possible for this perfect being to degenerate into the imperfect? How was it possible that the free became bound? The Advaitist says he was never bound but was always free. So, various clouds of various colors come before the sky, they remain there a minute and then pass away. So, it is the same eternal blue sky stretching there forever. The sky never changes, it is the cloud that is changing. So you are always perfect, eternally perfect. Nothing can change your nature or ever will change your nature. All these ideas that I am perfect, I am a man or a woman or a sinner, or I am the mind, I have thought, I will think, all are hallucinations. You never think, you never had a body, you never were imperfect. You are the blessed Lord of this universe, the one almighty ruler of everything that is and ever will be. The one mighty ruler of these suns and stars and moons and earths and planets and all the little bits of our universe. It is through you that the sun shines and the stars shed their luster and the earth becomes beautiful. So it is through your blessedness that they all love and are attracted to each other. You are in all and you are all, whom to avoid and whom to take. You are the all in all. When this knowledge comes, then the delusion immediately vanishes and you become one with the existence.